Show your other hand as an example for what a good hand looks like.
What's going on YouTube? I just wanted to come over here real quick and tell you guys about what gear I wear and how it held up in my crash, you know, with the real world experience. I know, people love certain brands, and for me, I just picked Alpine Stars from the beginning because that's what fit me. But just want to give a shout out to them because, I came away with minimal injuries. And so I really wanted to show you guys what I wear and how it held up, and can show you, hey, maybe this is what you might want to wear because it worked for me. So so let's talk through the different components. I'm sure other gear is probably also maybe just as good, but this is just what I was wearing and this is how it held up. And so I figured I'd just show you guys what it looked like and what you could expect. All right guys, so I first wanted to show you my suit. That's probably the biggest thing. This is Alpine Stars Missile V2 one-piece suit. I wear a size 44. So this suit held up pretty well. I went down on my left side first so you can see the most damage there. This is the low side. I was doing about 80 to 90 miles per hour and low sided into a bunch of rocks and did some flips. So I had a good bit of sliding on the ground and then also flipping in the air and just landing like one big impact into the rocks. I do wear the Alpine Stars Tech Air 5 airbag underneath. I'll show you guys that in a second and talk about that. As far as the damage, you can see the shoulder, it started to rip a little bit at this point. But the shoulder pad, I would say, took most of the initial scrapes. The leather here scraped, but it was fine. You can see all down this seam, it kind of gets a little beat up. But you can see the elbow pad took some of that. And then most of the leather is kind of beat up right here. You can see at this seam, it's starting to come through. This is my finger coming through. So it did rip here, but I didn't feel anything. So, but there is a seam under this. You can see the seam right here actually. So like where this is, there's leather. So I don't think I would have been touched unless the hole started to rip more. More towards this way. So yeah, I think this held up pretty well. Obviously I had it zipped up how it should be with my gloves, and I'll show you guys the gloves in a second. And then as far as the hip, you can see this is where I was sliding on the ground, kind of lost some of my lettering here. But overall, I mean, I don't think this is bad. Like, there is a little bit of a hip pad in here, so I think that softens some of the blow. And then I'll also tell you guys what I wear under my suit, which also I think helped. And then my knee pucks, these were already, I was dragging knee today. Drag it a little too far until it was dragging my whole body. So, but yeah, so the knee took a little bit of the scuffs, but overall you can see on the back. So like I said, I did a couple flips and then just kind of landed on my back. There's also a little bit of cushion here in the butt area, and didn't slide on this side. So maybe my right shoulder hit the ground when I finished flipping. But overall, I think the suit is fine. Like I might see about getting this part stitched, repaired, but overall this held up, and I think it really protected me, and it did its job. So these pucks, they stay on. Velcro is pretty strong. Overall, I'd give this a 9 out of 10 for what it did. But I think the biggest thing is gonna be this airbag system. So I wear this on the road, I wear it on a track, and I think this was the, I don't want to say lifesaver because I don't know how much it actually did, but let me just talk about this airbag system. Basically, it monitors your riding and it knows when you're about to crash, and it inflates before you hit the ground and softens the blow. So during my crash, it did inflate, and like I said, I landed on my back after doing a couple flips, and I landed in rocks, and I really didn't feel it. So I know that, obviously there's a lot of adrenaline and that could be part of it. But because I really didn't even know that it exploded. Like I got up and I was like feeling my body and wondering if it had actually went off or not. But I felt myself and I had a little bit of puffiness in there, so I was like, oh, it did go off. And I think that's the main reason why I don't have any other injuries around from my neck down to my hips. Like I don't have any bruising. So, and I attribute all of that to this Tech Air vest. So this I recommend 10 out of 10. Like no question. I think that was the biggest thing. Next is my helmet. This is a Shoei X14. You can see that it has scuffs all over it, but no big scrapes. And I think that's because I literally was doing flips in the air, and so I did not actually hit my head on the ground. The scuffs are from the rocks flying around and scratching it while I'm flying through the air. And the visor itself actually is not beat up either on the front of it, so that's great. This is a $200 visor because it transitions. So I think my helmet is still good. So I can't say that, I hit my head on the ground and I don't have a headache. So I don't know about that part, but I mean, it didn't come off. The visor didn't fly off. I was able to open it when I hit the ground. And I think, for that crash, it did what it was supposed to do. I wasn't worried about it. And looks like I'll still be able to use it. So that's good because this is expensive. Okay. All right, next up, talk about the gloves here. So these gloves are the Alpine Stars GP Tech V2. As you can see, these are special material on the top. I really don't know what this material is, but it's like supposed to be fire resistant and obviously leather. It's got some kangaroo leather on the palm, I think, and it keeps these fingers together, which I think made a big deal. As you can see, the damage is really just, there's a little bit of damage to the stitch here, and looks like I rubbed through maybe this little hole right there. But this thing is what saved helped my hand, I guess, the most, because I put my hand down as far as the low side. I had to let go of the bike, and this part is what slid on the ground first, so that held up perfect. Like it's barely anything, but my hand is bruised here. So the impact, I felt it, but obviously it didn't burn through. So that's what it's supposed to do. My wrist, you can see scrapes here, and these are high gloves, so this would have been my arm, I think, or like up to like here. And then on this side, you can see we kind of got a little hole here, but didn't get through anywhere because this is where it gets to the padding. So the leather, the design is gone, but knuckles did a good job. Also, you can see scraped up there. So all this stuff you think you don't need or might not need, I think you need it. Yeah, because I got like a little bit of bruising on my knuckles, but this was the left hand, so I would think that one would be worse. The right hand, I think it's just damage from like rocks flying, but surprisingly, I think my thumb hit the ground here, and this kind of split open, but I didn't feel this either because it didn't go all the way through. So end of the day, these held up very well. I think I probably will get some new ones of these just because, bro, you need your hands. Like, I don't want to risk anything hitting in the same spot. So I will pay for those again. Next up will be boots. These are Alpine Stars SMX-S. These ones are like the ones that are like $270, I think. These also held up very well. Didn't come off. Like, this grip is very good. The Velcro. You can see, I think, some of this is from like just bad positioning and having my toes hang off. So you'll see my toe slider is gone, but I don't think it was gone this far. So I think this is a result of the crash, also it being down this far. And you can see this one also took some of the damage there, but I did have a little bit of soreness in my left ankle, which would be like right here. So I think that's why they kind of hardened this piece. But like, you think about low side, like when you go down, your foot, you kind of hit here first. So like knee, hand, and your ankle are what's gonna hit the ground. So like the fact that this is pretty hard is important, and obviously the toe slider too. But overall, These held up well. Obviously I got some slide here too, so having high boots is important. Overall, these held up pretty well. I think I can wear these again, no problem. I'll get into toe sliders and I think we'll be good. Grip is still good, so yeah. And while I'm like looking at this stuff, man, I'm just thinking about like, yeah, this was on the track, but just imagine like people who ride on the street, like you probably could end up in a similar crash, and I'm sure you're not wearing this type of gear, so like just know that it's dangerous, man. But that held up very well. And then lastly, I actually wear these Alpine Stars Bionic Pro shorts under my suit, and I think the biggest thing on this is it has this like I don't know what you call it, ass protector, and tailbone cushion and hip. This was important. I know that there's hip pad in the suit, but this hip pad, I think, additionally on top of the suit helped. I still ended up with a bruised hip, and that was kind of hurting for a couple days. Kind of hard to walk with the bruised hip, but I'm fine now. So I do recommend wearing this under your suit. You need some type of hip protection. Leather alone is gonna stop sliding, but it's not gonna stop the impact. So yeah, man, all of this stuff together, like I said, Alpine Stars Bionic Pro shorts, Alpine Stars SMX-S boots, GP Tech V2 gloves, Tech Air 5 airbag system. That is a must. If you do not get anything else I show you here, get this airbag vest. I think I would have broke something probably if I didn't have that. Helmet looks good, did his job, didn't hit the ground, so yeah. And then this suit, yeah, man. Thank you for the cows that sacrificed themselves for me to be able to slide on the ground. Yeah, man, I'm super thankful that I wasn't injured. I'll show you guys the injuries if I haven't already. And yeah, man, get all the gear, man. All the gear is important. If you're gonna do this sport, you kind of know at some point you're gonna taste that pavement, and you want to be prepared. You know, dress for the slide, not the ride. So yeah. All right, man, that's all I got. Hope y'all have a blessed day, and stay safe out there. See ya.